Let's hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Puck It with Joe.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Let's try this again. It is November 11th. We've got a loaded day out there on the ice. Big shout out to all of our veterans out there for everything that you have done for our countries. We remember you today as always. But you guys, we got 9 games out there on the ice. For some reason, we started the show, we ran for a good 12 minutes, but something was not connecting over here on YouTube. So big apologies to each and every single one of you. We're going to jump back into the show. We're going to go over everything. So for everyone that were watching either on YouTube or on Instagram or X, we're going to start the show again because this was not playing over on YouTube. We're going to fly through it though, you guys. The first game is the Battle of the Metro between the Washington Capitals and the Carolina Hurricanes. This one does have a total of 6.5. Plus 110 to the over, and that's minus 134 to the under. I'm going to roll with this one to the under. The Washington Capitals have been struggling in their last couple of games, and we know the Carolina Hurricanes have an elite offensive drive out there. They're able to get those rushes and really storm the net. But the problem is Logan Thompson between the pipes for the Washington Capitals, and the Capitals' ability to lock down on the defensive side of things, I think will definitely come into play in this game. The Washington Capitals, if you do think they can pull off the upset, are plus 134. The Carolina Hurricanes at minus 162. I do think the under 6.5 is the best way to go. You're going to have to lay juice at minus 134, but I do think you look here for both of these teams to lock down in their own zones. The Carolina Hurricanes hold opponents to 26.6 shots on goal per game. Their kill is strong at 82%, and the Washington Capitals are allowing only 2.47 goals per game, first best in the league. The problem is over their last 7 games, they have allowed a total of 3.4 goals per game. They need to step up defensively, and that's what I'm expecting in this one. They cannot outscore the Carolina Hurricanes. For them to come in here and look to play a high-paced, fast offensive game, they're going to lose it. Look for the lockdown on defense. We're going to see Logan Thompson between the pipes here. For the Washington Capitals, he's got a 1.61 goals against average and a 930 save percentage. Frederick Anderson on the other side has a 892 save percentage, a 2.96 goals against average. I do think both of these goaltenders a step up in this one. Kev, yeah, big salute to the veterans. I'm glad that you are here today, and we've got to do shout outs. There was a couple of people that were waiting for the show on the other YouTube. It just didn't work. So I'm glad you cashed. I'm so glad you cashed. Mo, welcome to the show as well. So you guys, Battle of the Metro, Capitals 7th, Canes 2nd. I got to take the under 6.5. Now, if you do want to look at some trends for players, because I'm taking the under 6.5 and I can see this being a 3-2 style game, I'm not going to back player props. I always give you the trends in case you want them. So Tom Wilson has scored a goal in each of the Capitals' last 3 against Metro opponents. You're in that situation. So Tom Wilson here for the Washington Capitals. If you want to play it, go ahead. And then Dylan Strome, he was strong versus the Carolina Hurricanes last season. He had a goal and 2 assists. Those would be your playmakers here for the Caps. So when we look at the Carolina Hurricanes, Seth Jarvis was elite versus the Capitals last season, finishing with 5.3 goals and 2 assists. So those are your trend bets there for the player props. Okay, so at the 4:22, we're moving on to the next game, you guys. We do have the LA Kings versus the Montreal Canadiens. The LA Kings have moved into the favorite role. They're minus 118. We did see the Montreal Canadiens as the favorite, so money's coming in on the Kings right now. Total 5.5, minus 124 to the under. I'm shocked they're giving us a 5.5 in this one, you guys. I expect this one to go over that total. You look here, if the Kings spend any time in the box, I do think we're going to see the Montreal Canadiens capitalize. and score on that power play. They have the 5th best power play in the league, converting at 27.9%. Nick Suzuki, Caulfield, power play points all day long. Now, I do think the reason why this line is moving the way it is because people are looking at Darcy Kemper versus Sam Montague, your goaltending matchup, and going, Darcy Kemper has the edge. And yes, he has the edge on the season. He's got a 2.52 goals against average and a 905 save percentage. But he struggled in his career versus the Montreal Canadiens, and I don't trust him out here between the pipes. I do think goaltenders versus certain teams, they have those issues, and that travels with them. When we look at Sam Montague, he's been the opposite. Over the last 2 meetings versus the LA Kings, he's got a 904 save percentage. I'm looking for Sam Montague to have that step up in this game. Overall in the season, yeah, they're not pretty numbers. He's got a 3.46 goals against average and an 864 save percentage. But I also think the lack of high danger second chance shots that we're seeing out of the LA Kings, they're just not generating them, you guys, will lead to the Montreal Canadiens getting that puck out of their zone after we see those shots fired on Sam Montague. We're not going to see those second chances out there for the LA Kings. So I do like the Montreal Canadiens. I love that we're getting a better price. And I think just wait. If you like Montreal, like me, I'm expecting more money to come in on the LA Kings. And once we start getting that plus money, you know it's going to be a great price for the Montreal Canadiens. They're coming off a win versus Utah, 6-2. They have the Stars on deck on Thursday, and I think they're ready and prepared for this game. We do see the LA Kings rolling in here, allowing 3 goals. Their kill at 76.3%. They're off the win versus the Pittsburgh Penguins, 3-2. Second game of a 6-game road trip. They've got the Leafs on deck. So they're currently outside a wildcard pitcher spot, you guys. They're going to be hungry to get this win, but I tell you, I think Montreal gets it done. The trend here for the LA Kings is Trevor Moore has scored at least 1 goal in 3 of the Kings' last 4 versus the Montreal Canadiens. So if you believe in the Kings tonight, Trevor Moore is your trend play. I'll be looking at Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, Demidov, Lane Hudson. I'm going to be looking at the playmakers here for Montreal. I'm expecting at least 4 goals for the Montreal Canadiens. Taking their team total over 3.5 will get you plus money tonight. The next game on deck, we do have the Dallas Stars taking on the Ottawa Senators. Now, I know we're sitting here November 11th, but still there's so many playoff implications for these teams, and both of these teams hungry for another win. They both won their last 2 games. We've got Jake Ottinger tonight between the pipes for the Dallas Stars and Allmark for the Ottawa Senators. Now, the Ottawa Senators, I don't love what we're seeing out of their scheduling spot. I think the Dallas Stars roll in here and get the win. The Dallas Stars, I was shocked to see they're the underdog. Now, the physicality is there for the Ottawa Senators, but the Dallas Stars, I think, get it done. They're plus 102 on the money line on the road, and you know I love a dog. You guys, we got a total of 5.5. Minus 122 to the over, and I am looking for this to be a 4-3, 4-2 style win for the Dallas Stars. So either way, we go over a total of 5.5. When we look at the Ottawa Senators, this team is averaging 3.44 goals per game, 27.3 shots on goal. Their power play is the 8th best in the league, converting at 24.1%. Offensively, they're absolutely killing it. They're able to, they've got the depth of scoring, right? Physical team out there. They're so well-rounded, especially on the offensive side of things. They're getting those shots from the blue line. They're able to generate those second chance scoring opportunities because they get one of their guys right in front of the net and they fire as soon as that puck bounces off the goaltender. So those second chances are there. They can absolutely capitalize on errors by Jake Ottinger if he doesn't lock that puck down when they fire. The problem is here, I can't trust their power play, their kill. Their kill is the worst in the league, only killing off 67.4% of penalties. And we're going to see the Ottawa Senators spend time in the box. We know this isn't a disciplined team when it comes to that. They spend time in the box, and the Dallas Stars, wow, this power play, second best in the league, converting at 32.8%. So I do think we're going to see mistakes out here by Ottawa. We're going to see the Dallas Stars get under their skin, and because of that, they'll be able to convert on that power play and get this win. When we look at another couple things here, I told you I didn't love what we're seeing for the schedule for the Ottawa Senators, and this is where it also comes into play. I think tired legs result in them getting feisty out there on the field. 4 of their last 5 games have gone to overtime as well. When we look at on deck, they've got the Boston Bruins on Thursday, who they had an overtime loss to at Boston last Thursday. So, they got a big game versus Boston. I do think it's Omar Swayman. You've got that goaltending situation where goaltender versus their former team, that is on deck as well. And this is the second game home off of 3 on the road too. And they had back-to-back nights on Saturday and Sunday. So this scheduling spot, I think, is awful for the Ottawa Senators. I don't think they can stay disciplined. So that would be how they'd win this one. If they'd stay disciplined and Allmark stands tall between the net, then they can absolutely win this game. I just don't think that discipline will be there in this one. I hope they prove me wrong. I like the Ottawa Senators a heck of a lot more than I do like the Dallas Stars, but I tell you, the Dallas Stars have lost their last 8 meetings in Ottawa. I think they get back on track. They're 4-2-2 on the road and are coming in with momentum. I do expect this to be a physical play, tight checking game out there. I'd look at the power play points on both sides. We know the power play can convert for the Ottawa Senators as well. The kill, 72.5% here for the Dallas Stars. So this game's going to come down to who can stay out of the freaking box. I trust Dallas a lot more, but I really hope I am wrong. So you guys, if you don't want to roll with the Dallas Stars, I don't blame you. I'd look at the power play points tonight, and I almost like the power play points more so than I like this game for Dallas to get the win, especially with how Dallas has played here in Ottawa. It does give you concerns, right? Now, Heiskanen here for the Dallas Stars has 9 points in his last 4 games. He is leading that blue line with 14 points on the season for Dallas. He's definitely someone you want to look at. But on that power play, Wyatt Johnson and Mikko Rantanen, they've combined for 41 points thus far this season. Wyatt Johnson, you guys know I love him on that power play. His ability, even on the shorty, is there. So Wyatt Johnson for the power play point all day long for me. On the other side, I will look at Tim Struzal. He's leading the Ottawa Senators with 16 points, and I think he's going to really step up in this one today. Yeah, we'll look at top 5 guys, Mo, at the end of the show for those 2+ points for sure. Okay, next game on deck, you guys. The Boston Bruins, wow, there are some teams that are rolling hot right now. The Boston Bruins have won their last 6. The Anaheim Ducks have won their last 7. What universe are we living in right now? Because I didn't expect this out of either of these teams. So Boston's at home tonight. They're taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just to get you guys the lines on this game, I'm still like, it's kind of like confusing to your brain to think Boston's won 6. They're looking for their 7th win. They are plus 115 on the money line tonight. The Toronto Maple Leafs roll in at minus 138. Total of 6.5. You're actually getting the over 6.5 at plus 106. This is going to be where styles meet, right? You've got the offensive ability here of the Toronto Maple Leafs versus a really disciplined defense right now of the Boston Bruins. Which style is going to win out is your question mark in this one. It's a battle of the Atlantic, and this is where the mind trip really comes. Toronto's 7th in the Atlantic, and the Boston Bruins are 2nd. You guys, something's got to give here. I'm really shocked by this. You got Swayman in net for Boston, Stallars here for the Leafs. Now, when we look at the Leafs, what's costing them games? It's the defensive lapses, right? Their defense comes out and they collapse. In this game, they lost their last 2. They had a back-to-back weekend. Canes, their loss was on Sunday, 5-4. They got up in that game. They let it go. Boston's won their last 6. They won on Saturday, 5-3 in Toronto. So these teams did just play on Saturday. The difference here is Boston had the day off on Sunday and Monday. Now they're at home. We saw the Leafs have back-to-back games. So they faced the Boston Bruins, and then they faced the Canes, and now they're rolling into Boston. So Boston has the rest advantage. That the Kings on deck at home here for the Leafs as well. And then Boston will be at the Ottawa Senators. Like I said, that's the battle of those 2 goaltenders. It's going to be interesting. And then they'll be at Montreal. So Boston has, the battle of the goaltenders, then the original 6, and this is original 6. Like, there's a lot going on here. I expect the Leafs to come out with that firepower to start. Come out with a bang, start off really strong, really physical, be able to net a couple of goals, even on Swayman, at least one, cover the puck line in the first period, and then I don't trust them to hold the lead. I'm going to look at the Leafs first period puck line laying a half goal at plus 164, knowing that they need to get up and they need to hold on to this one. I think they strike early, they push that pace out there with Austin Matthews, William Nylander, and then, as the legs start to get tired, those defensive lapses like we've seen game in and game out could be the reason. Now, Boston here, they've allowed only 2.4 goals per game, fourth best in the NHL, and they're hard hitting, right? They're getting like 39 plus hits a game. Like, this team is coming out so strong. One thing that does trend to these teams when they play each other is the over. We're seeing them trend to the over. The last game, of course, 8 goals out there. And with how Toronto is going to push the speed, Boston really does have to answer back. We know Morgan Geekie has been so solid. He's scored at least 1 goal in 7 of the Bruins' last 8. So I would look at Morgan Geekie and David Pastrnak here for the Boston Bruins. Pasta leading this team with 2+ points. I think this is a good one to look at. 21 points. I think this is a good one to look at Pasta for 2+. But on the other side, you got William Nylander with 23 points on the season. He is going to come out nice and strong as well. So Austin Matthews, John Tavares, the depth of scoring is there for Toronto. I would look at Nylander and Pasta both for their 2+ points, but Matthews and Tavares should get points as well as Morgan Geekie. So should be a good one. Good morning, everyone. I appreciate each and every single one of you for being here today. So Bruins and Maple Leafs, this is possible overtime. I do see this being a 4-3 style game. Definitely has every ability of going to overtime. The overtime bet, I believe it was plus 330 earlier in the day. I was looking at a couple of these games to go to OT. And I think this is one where you'd want to look at it because they're going to play each other so hard in this game. If it goes to overtime, I do give the edge to the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's plus 330 right now for this one to go to overtime. So I love where you're going to go with that game. Okay, we're going to move on to the next game. Talk about hot teams, you guys. I can't believe how hot the San Jose Sharks have looked after starting so rough out there. The San Jose Sharks are coming into this game. They've won their last 3. They've also won 6 of their last 8. So it's not just the 3-game record, it's 6 of their last 8. After starting off so slow, we know they were waiting to break that losing streak. Macklin Celebrini has stepped up to a new level, and Nedeljkovic between the pipes really can steal the Sharks this game. Now, when you look at the San Jose Sharks versus the Minnesota Wild, the Sharks are a plus 172 underdog. Why are we getting so much value here on the San Jose Sharks? Are the books begging us to take the Sharks, or is it really the lack of faith in the public on the San Jose Sharks and the Sharks? The Minnesota Wild are minus 210. I can't lay that with the Wild. I think it's either you like the Sharks on the puck line at plus 1.5 at minus 140, which you guys know that's juicy for me. If the Wild go up first, to come back in on the Sharks plus 1.5, and that will be my game plan. But it's either the dog at plus 172 on the money line or a pass for me in this game. Other than that total, I think the total does go over the 6.5. Gustafsson between the pipes for the Minnesota Wild has an .896 save percentage and 3.19 goals against average. So we're going to see the Sharks be able to convert. Minnesota has had one of the best power plays in the league. It's converting at 29%. The kill is weak here for the Sharks at 75.7%. So I do think those conversions will come. The Sharks need to play more disciplined out there. Their power play, though, you guys, they've gone 14 of 14 in their last 4 games. They're converting on that power play, led by a strong offense out here with Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith as well, getting those assists. So the Sharks have been averaging 3.31 goals per game, 25 shots on goal, so limited shots. They need to do more at getting those second chances, but you look at them winning their last 3 and who they've taken down. They took down the Florida Panthers 3-1. They also took down the Jets 2-1 and the Kraken 6-1. Now they did lose to the Detroit Red Wings in a shootout, but they also beat the Avs in an overtime win 3-2. They have no problem here beating Minnesota. They've already proved it. They beat Minnesota on October 26th, overtime win 6-5. I'm expecting another high-scoring game like that, you guys, and for the Sharks to get it done. This is game 1 of a 3-game road trip. They've got the Flames on Thursday and the Kraken on Saturday. So you look at ever since they broke that losing streak on October 23rd, they've won 3 of their last 4 road games. So they've been strong out there on the road, and that includes that 6-5 win over the Wild. So they didn't win at home versus the Wild. They won here in Minnesota. They can do it again. The Minnesota Wild do have the Ducks on deck on Saturday, who've been hot, and Vegas on Sunday. So they got a weekend back-to-back loading. They're not going to look past this Sharks team with Macklin Celebrini. That is for sure. But we have seen the Sharks cover the puck line in their last 8 games. Give me the freaking Sharks. Celebrini for the goal. He scored in 3 straight games. He leads the Sharks with 24 points in 16 games. Will Smith for his points. Look at Macklin Celebrini for 2+ points. Look at Will Smith for, I would be hard-pressed if he doesn't get 2 as well. Matt Boldy and Kaprizov will answer back on the other side. I'm not going to touch their props. I like the Sharks today, and I really hope that they just completely Gustafsson or Nedeljkovic steals the win here for the Sharks. It would be incredible to see him have a big game. So, yeah, they're shocking. The Sharks are really shocking with what they've been able to do, Kev. It's great to see. Okay, let's move on to the Calgary Flames. The Calgary Flames here are taking on the St. Louis Blues. Now, the St. Louis Blues already did win this matchup this season back a month ago, actually. It was October 11th. They got a 4-2 win in Calgary. The Calgary Flames are a +125 underdog. We know this team is struggling to score. The St. Louis Blues are -150 on the money line. For a team that has defensive lapses day in, day out, there's no way I could take the St. Louis Blues on that money line price. The total sitting at 5.5. It's -122 to the over, which is interesting to see when you know Calgary has to lock down on the defensive side of things to be able to get the wins, hold opponents into lower scoring. But with both of the defensive lapses, with both of them struggling in their own zone out there to give the protection to their goaltenders, I just can't look at this one to stay under. I like the over 5.5 in this one. I'll lay the juice at -122. We know Dustin Wolf hasn't looked like himself. He's had a couple of big games, but he hasn't looked like his rookie season. He's got a 3.26 goals against average and an .892 save percentage. Binghamton on the other side here for the Blues. He's got an .859 save percentage. Will the real Jordan Binghamton please stand up? Because he's not doing so. And I'd love to see him really get that. A couple of really strong games under his belt. We're just not seeing it happening that way. We're also seeing the Blues overall allowing that 3.88 goals per game, 26.4 shots, and they got a weak kill at 69.8%. The power play isn't strong for Calgary, but I do think Calgary has the ability here to get a couple goals for us to push us over. The problem with Calgary is they've lost their last 2. They got shut out in both of them, you guys. Just pitiful. Minnesota Wild beat them 2-0. And beat them. I mean, me too. I am a Calgary fan, and Chicago beat them 4-0. It's brutal to see this Calgary team in a complete rebuild this season, not really stepping up. We saw Kadri in his game 1,000, have a big game. That was a big game for Calgary, but they've just been flat ever since. So I don't know. We've seen the Blues. They won, like I said, 4-2, and they've dominated Calgary. They've gone 8-1. Since 2022 versus the Calgary Flames. So St. Louis should be able to get the win. The problem is the coaching staff is really disappointed with their players. Healthy scratch of Jordan Kyrou in their last game out because of the flatness, how these players have been looking out there on the ice. The St. Louis Blues aren't playing around. They're sitting 5-8-3 on the season, and they're making a message for their players out there that nobody is safe for this team. Calgary's sitting 2-7-1 on the road. If you can trust the St. Louis Blues on the puck line, laying 1.5 at +164, that will get you plus money. Better way to go than taking the St. Louis Blues on that money line. 4-2, 5-2 even. It's 5-1 style game. Still pushes us over the 5.5. So give me the over 5.5 as the best bet. I would not look at player props in this one. I think too many inconsistencies out of both of these teams. Okay, Next game on deck, we have the Anaheim Ducks, another red hot team. They're plus 198 on the money line. What? They're plus 198 on the money line. This line really shocked me. Yes, I know Colorado is such a great team. You got Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar. We saw what they were able to do to the Edmonton Oilers, 9-1 win. But why aren't the Anaheim Ducks getting more respect than this? They're plus 1.5 at minus 118 on the puck line. Just blindly sign up, in my opinion. And the total is sitting at 6.5. Minus 142 to the over. You got Dostal between the pipes for the Ducks. Got Wedgwood in between the pipes for Colorado. This is your overtime game, in my opinion. Give me overtime plus 330, plus 330 as well for this game to go to overtime. You look at the Ducks, 7 straight wins, longest win stretch since 2021. They are first, and I'm not joking, first in the Pacific. You can fact check that. I had to fact check it 3 times when I was looking at their record in the Pacific. They are 11-3-1 on the season, 6-2-1 out there on the road. Yes, Colorado, fortress at home, 10-1-5 on the season, 4-0-2 at home. This team is averaging 33.9 shots on goal per game. Best in the league. Dostal between the pipes for the Ducks will have his hands full. He's got a 908 save percentage, though, and a 2.66 goals against average. Scott Wedgwood, great numbers here as well. 2.36 goals against average and 906 save percentage. We are seeing the 4th most shots out of the Anaheim Ducks with 30.1 shots on goal per game. Both of these teams averaging over 4 goals per game. We've seen the power play for the Ducks convert in the last 5 games. This power play percentage conversion at 23.7%. The power play for the Avs only at 17.5. So the Ducks do have the special team advantage out there, except for the kill. So on the power play, they are strong. The kill here for Colorado is great at 88.5%. Now, Colorado is on a winning streak as well. They've won their last 5. Overtime win versus Vancouver on the road on Sunday. They're sitting first in the Central. It makes sense when you say the Avs are first in the Central. When you say the Ducks are first in the Pacific, everyone goes, whoa, wait, what? And everyone expecting it to be the Edmonton Oilers, right? But I tell you, this is a home off 2 games on the road for the Colorado Avalanche. They beat the Edmonton Oilers. They beat the Vancouver Canucks. So they've been able to come out strong. I do think the Avs offense can dictate the rhythm, the pace of this game. They're going to push in this one, but I do like the Ducks to be able to keep it tight. Give me the Ducks plus 1.5 as well as that money line. Money is coming in on the Anaheim Ducks. So if you like them, get them quick because we're starting to lose value there. Player points in this one. Leo Carlsson, he is on a 10-game point streak. He is driving this team right now. 25 points in 15 games. Leo Carlsson, 2+ points for the Anaheim Ducks all day long. On the other side, Nathan McKinnon, you know you got to sign up for Nathan McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar are the playmakers that I love to bet for Colorado. Nathan McKinnon got us the 2+ points within 90 seconds of each other in that last game versus Edmonton. We were able to get that, and we also got Connor McDavid for the power play point. The only goal of the game was a power play point for Connor McDavid. So we are able to cash. I'll go back to Nathan McKinnon for 2+ points. You can look at Cale Makar as well for his points. So strong from the blue line. 22 points on the season. He does get those assists out there, you guys. So I'm looking for him to come and really get that speed in transition, get that puck out of his zone beautifully, which we know he's able to do. But this Ducks team, I tell you, they're not going away easy. I think they're quacking again tonight. I'm going to be rolling with the Ducks until the wheels fall off. Next game on deck, we do have the Columbus Blue Jackets versus the Seattle Kraken. These are 2 teams, you guys, I can't trust. Inconsistencies across the board with both of these teams. Minus 122 for the Seattle Kraken, plus 102 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Total 6.5. The 6.5 juice to that under at minus 120, and that's where I go. Too many inconsistencies out there for me to really love this team. Or either of these teams. We have seen Columbus keep it tight on that puck line. The problem is with these lines right now, you can't even bet Columbus plus 1.5 because it's going to cost you way too much. They've lost their last 4 games. Now, this is second night back-to-back. We saw that production out of them early. versus the Edmonton Oilers. We had them to get the win last night with that great plus money. The problem is the wheels fell off. It went to overtime. Edmonton fought back in that game. Columbus, defensive lapses allowed Edmonton back in it, and then they lost the game. So they're coming off a loss versus Edmonton last night. I do think if you're looking for a first period, you could try Columbus in the first period. I don't love this one. Matt Murray between the pipes for the Seattle Kraken. He's only played 2 games. He's recorded 2 losses. Elvis coming out here for Columbus. Columbus should get the win. Do I trust them enough? Not really. Game 5 of the road trip. They're home Thursday versus Montreal. They're just ready to go frickin' home, you guys. And then the Seattle Kraken. They get a lot of disrespect from me. So they seem to like to get these wins when I'm really not counting on them. We have seen the St. Louis Blues, they'll cover the puck line in their last 4 on the second night back-to-back. Charlie Coyle has been strong on the second night of a back-to-back as well. I'll look at Charlie Coyle here for the Columbus Blue Jackets for a point tonight, but otherwise, I don't love this game. I would just take it under the total. Last game on a deck, you guys. We're flying today. We're going to look at the Winnipeg Jets versus the Vancouver Canucks. Now, Winnipeg's been struggling out there. They've lost their last 3, and this is not like this team. Connor Hellebuck between the pipes. They're going into Vancouver to take on the Canucks. The Canucks are sitting at plus 100. We got a total of 5.5 in this one. Plus 102 to the under, minus 124 to the over. I'm not loving this one to go over that total. I do think this could be a very tight, hard-checking defensive matchup between these 2 teams. I got the Jets to win this one. I'm loving the price at minus 120 for the Winnipeg Jets. I'd also look at the Winnipeg Jets in reg. You're going to bring it down to like plus 108 for the Winnipeg Jets in reg, and I do think they're able to get things done. As long as it's Hellebuck between the pipes. Now, we haven't seen confirmation of Connor Hellebuck, and let me just see if I can get that confirmation here, because I do think it's going to be him out there for the Winnipeg Jets. They did start their backup goaltender in the last game, so they really don't roll back-to-back on those goaltenders. It should be Hellebuck. Now, the book's still not listing Hellebuck as confirmed. They do have a couple of specials out on Demko to record 8+ saves in each period. Not sure I love it. You're going to get great plus money there if you do. But you look at the Vancouver Canucks, they're off the loss to the Colorado Avalanche 5-4. They're at the Canes on Friday, at the Lightning on Sunday, and at the Panthers on Monday before back home to face the Stars. So you look at this 5-6 game stretch, they've got very hard opponents on their plate. Now, they are 3-4-1 at home this season, 8-1 overall. They have been trending to the over, 8 of their last 10 going over that total, but I can't buy that this one's going to go over. I think Vancouver struggles to score. Winnipeg gets the win, losing their last 3 Sunday to the Ducks 4-1. This is game 4 of 6 on the road. They're at the Kraken on Thursday, at the Calgary Flames on Saturday, which I get to go to. Super excited for that. But you guys, you look at this one, and I think Winnipeg finds a way to get it done. Connor Hellebuck stands on his head. So that's where I'll go with the Winnipeg Jets. I will lay the juice. Okay, you guys ready to get that recap underway? We're going to get into the recap of this game, and then we'll look at those players for the player points as well. So starting off with the recap here. The Washington Capitals versus the Carolina Hurricanes, battle of the Metro. Give me the under 6.5 as the defenses look to lock up and give the support to the goaltending. You're going to have to lay the juice at minus 134, but I think it's a great way to go. Then we got the LA Kings versus the Montreal Canadiens. Give me Montreal to be able to get the win. I don't trust Darcy Camper in between the pipes for the LA Kings. He's got weak numbers in his career versus Montreal, and Montreal moving into that home dog role. I got them at minus 110. You're getting them at plus 101 on some of the books now. Jump all over it. Sam Montague last couple of meetings versus the LA Kings, his numbers went up to 904 save percentage. I do think the money is coming in on the Kings because they're looking at the stronger goaltender, but the stronger goaltender not in the matchups versus each other, which would be Sam Montague. Power play points tonight, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki here. For the Montreal Canadiens, I'm going to look at Demidov as well. Trevor Moore has been your scorer, your trend scorer for the LA Kings. The Dallas Stars versus the Ottawa Senators. I think Dallas gets it done because I'm expecting the Ottawa Senators to get scrappy, spend time in the box, and Dallas to be able to convert. Physical, hard-hitting game out there. I think the Dallas Stars win this. Plus 102 on the money line. This is a 4-3 or a 4-2 style win for the Dallas Stars. Again, looking at the power play points for both of these teams tonight, because I do think that conversion comes as soon as they're given the opportunity. Wyatt Johnson, Mikko Rantanen for the power play points for Dallas tonight. Tim Struzal for the Ottawa Senators. When we look at the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Boston Bruins, the Bruins are so hot, winning their last 6. I do think the Leafs can get off to a hot start, control that pace in the first period. The Leafs first period puck line minus a half goal at plus 164. The over 6.5 at plus 102. These teams, when they meet up, trend to that over. But I won't be shocked if Boston gets another win. I will like that Boston plus 1.5 on the puck line when the Leafs go up in that first period. I'm looking at Morgan Geekie and David Pastrnak from the Boston Bruins. Basta for 2+ points, Morgan Geekie for a point, and then on the side for the Leafs, William Nylander for 2+ points, and then Austin Matthews and John Tavares for a point parlay together. The San Jose Sharks and the Minnesota Wild. Sharks just keep winning. I'm going to jump on the Sharks. Plus 1.5 on the puck line is too juicy for me at minus 140. I would live bet it if we do see the Wild go up first, but I'm going to take the Sharks straight up on the money line, or it would be a pass for me. I'm going to take the money line at plus 172. The over 6.5 in a 4-3 style game. This one has every opportunity of overtime as well. The Calgary Flames versus the St. Louis Blues. I think St. Louis gets a win here at home. They're too juicy straight up at minus 150. I think if you like St. Louis, expect the win by 2 goals. I do like the over 5.5, as I think Calgary, after being shut out in their last 2, finally gets a couple goals on the board. We see a 4-2 style win here for the St. Louis Blues, over 5.5 at minus 120. I'm going to stay off player props. The Anaheim Ducks and the Colorado Avalanche. Give me the Ducks to keep quacking here. Plus 195 on the money line. Plus 1.5 on that puck line is only minus 120. Great way to go in a game. I think goes to overtime as well. Plus 330 to go to OT. The Sharks team total to the over. The Ducks team total to the over. You can also look at the Sharks team total today. I love both of those team totals to the over. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the Seattle Seattle Kraken. What am I talking about? The Seattle Kraken here. I don't trust either of these teams. I'm going to look for this one to stay under 6.5. Too many inconsistencies out there. If the Seattle Kraken score first, I'll come back in on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Plus 1.5 on that puck line when I'm getting value. They've been strong on the puck line on the second night of a back-to-back, covering that puck line in their last 4. Charlie Coyle is strong on the second night of a back-to-back as well. I'd look at his points. Last but not least, the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Vancouver Canucks. Give me the Jets to get the win with Connor Hellebuck having a night out there between the pipes. This team has lost their last 3. They're looking to get back in the win column, and I think they can do it versus Demko and the Vancouver Canucks tonight. So let's freaking go. Let's make some money out there. The 2 players, the 2+ point players tonight would be, well, you could look at Kyle Connor. I'd look at Kyle Connor for the Winnipeg Jets. I do think he can get 2 points in that matchup for the Winnipeg Jets versus Vancouver. I'm going to look at Leo Carlsson for 2+ points, Nathan McKinnon for 2+ points. I love that matchup with the Ducks and the Avs for 2+ points for each of those guys. I then will look at Macklin Celebrini for 2+ points and Will Smith. I've got both of them to have big nights here when the Sharks take on the Minnesota Wild. On the other side of that, Matt Boldy and Kaprizov, we know their strength out there. You could absolutely look at them. I'll stay off Calgary and the St. Louis Blues, like I said. William Nylander for the Leafs is where I would go, and Pasta for the Bruins for those 2+ points. So it should be a great night out there on the ice, you guys. I'm expecting these players to come out nice and strong in some of these situations. We got a couple of dogs. Let's hit those dogs. Let me know below what dogs you think are barking out there on the ice, where you're going to go with your best bets. If you got a player that you're looking at for 2+ points, definitely let's hear it. But you guys, all the best in all of your bets. Until next time, stay hot and let's make some freaking money. I will see you tomorrow. And again, thank you to our veterans for everything that you have done for our country. So we'll see you next time, you guys. Let's make some freaking money. Stay hot.